bayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Good morning. Welcome to our one-day lab session which regards to learner empowerment in times of pandemic. I am your facilitator, Lea Faith Salvania, and my co-facilitator is Ms. Ella May Katakutan. Our topic is about anti-bullying. But before we start our session, I would like to share to all of you our experience during our adolescence and health development training where we are given an activity and we formed a circle. The facilitator prepared a cut-out manila paper and asked all of us about what we saw, and we saw different formations. The participant on the left side saw letter W, while the participants on the right side saw letter M, and the participants on the top saw number 3, and its opposite side saw letter E. This made us realize that all of us have different perspectives or we see things differently. This is because we have different family, political, cultural, and social backgrounds. So we don't have the rights to judge or bully someone because of their appearance or for who they are. I am sharing this to you because it is related to our topic, which is anti-bullying. So our purpose for this session is to encourage students to stop the bullying. What really is bullying? Bullying is the use of force, threat, or coercion to abuse, intimidate, or aggressively dominate others. The behavior is often repeated and habitual. One essential prerequisite is the perception by the bully or by others of an imbalance of social or physical power which distinguishes bullying from conflict. Behaviors used to assert such domination can include verbal harassment or threat, physical assault or coercion, and such acts may be directed repeatedly towards particular targets. So when you say bullying, it is also a way of insulting and hurting someone physically and emotionally through words and physical acts. Definition of terms. Number 1. Bully refers to any student who commits act of bullying as defined by the Act or this IRR or implementing rules and regulations. So when you say bully, that is the person who commits bully to someone or siya ang nang bully. Then second, bullied or victim refers to any student experience the acts. So ang bully mo na siya contrary sa bullied. Kay ang bully, di ba, mao ang gabuli. Then ang bullied, mao siya ang gibuli sa bully. Number 3, bystander refers to any person who witnesses or has personal knowledge of any actual or perceived acts or incidents of bullying or retaliation as defined by this IRR. So when you say bystander, mo na siya nakakita sa panghitabo nga naigibuli. Like ikaw, nakita karon nga imong classmate gabulihanay. So you can be called bystander because you witnessed the bullying. Number 4 is learning center. Refers to learning resources and facilities of a learning program for out-of-school youth and adults as defined in DepEd Order number 43 section 2013. So kung moana kang learning center, mao na siya murag place nga pwedeng atuan sa mga learners nga dili siya eskwelahan. An example for that is our Purok Learning Center in Pamplona. Now, let's talk about the different types of bullying. The first type of bullying is physical bullying. So, physical bullying includes hitting, kicking, tripping, pinching, and pushing or damaging property. So, when you say physical bullying, it is hurting someone or bullying someone with force. Like manumbag ka, mangusi, o kanang mamatid og daghan pa. The next is verbal bullying. Verbal bullying includes name-calling, insults, teasing, intimidation, homophobic or racist remarks, or verbal abuse. So kung moana ka nga verbal bullying, that is bullying someone using words. Like kanang manulog-sulog ka, imo siyang daot-daot kanang insultohan mo siya ba? Then kung moana po ka nga racist remarks, di ba? We are aware nga we came from different races, like na ay mga negro, na ay mga ita, ana dito. Namgay uban nga, ang ilang bulihon nila nga, ay lagum-lagum, ana. So, dili na siya dapat because that is considered as verbal bullying. The third is social or covert bullying. This sort of bullying is often harder to recognize and can be carried out behind the bullied person's back. It is designed to harm someone's social reputation and or cause humiliation. So, kung maana ka nga social or covert bullying, mauna siya gitawag nato nga pagpanglibak. Diba, once nga manglibak kag taho, pwede nimo nga madaot ang iyang reputasyon, madaot nimo ang panglantaw sa ubang taho, kabahin niya kung na kay mga daot ang pangstorya. Then, covert bullying includes lying and spreading rumors, negative facial or physical gestures, menacing or contemptuous looks, playing nasty jokes to embarrass and humiliate, mimicking unkindly, encouraging others to socially exclude someone, damaging someone's social reputation or social acceptance. So kung wala ka nga lying and spreading rumors, di ba? Kanang magpakalat kag mga istorya kabay niya nga dili tinuod dahil kadaot pud sa iyang reputasyon. Then negative facial or physical gestures, menacing or contemptuous looks kanang murag kung makalatan ba giayo jud kag daw kanang ang ilang lang to bang murag wa jud sila ganahin nimo ana. Then playing nasty jokes to embarrass and humiliate kanang pagpaminuan di ba sa barkada common jud na kaya kanang magbinuangay mo nga kanang hantud maulawan na lang ang inyong usa ka barkada. Then mimicking unkindly, encouraging others to socially exclude someone. So di ba sa kahinom mo sa una mga bata pata kanang man to ay ayaw jud nag-amigwa si ana-ana dito kay ana ayaw mo padul ana. That is also part or it is a part of covert bullying. Then damaging someone's social reputation or social acceptance. So connected na siya sa lying and spreading rumors kay once nga patakar kag pang og mga rumors mga istorya nga makadaot niya. So it means nga ang iyang reputasyon og ang panglantaw sa taho niya murag mausog na pud or madaot. The next is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a type of bullying that takes place using electronic technology. Electronic technology includes devices and equipment such as cell phones, computers, and tablets as well as communication tools including social media sites, text messages, chat, and websites. So, kani po siyang cyberbullying, kana siyang pang-pambully through mga social media platforms. Like, di ba, common na dyan ka ka ng while scroll ta sa Facebook natay maagian nga mga post nga gadaotanay or na ay mga post dito nga kabang murag isog kay sila nga naa sila taho nga gipadunggan like that. Then next is gender-based bullying. Refers to any act that humiliates or exclude a person on the basis of perceived or actual sexual orientation and gender identity or sugi. So when you say gender-based bullying, kana na siya, di ba? Kabalo ko nga, kablutan na aji mga bayot, lesbians, like that. Then, naamo kayo uban nga, ibuli sila nga, ay bayot, ay tumboy, ana-ana. Then, kani siya nga bullying, kalagmitan din mo siya makita sa mga, or madunggan sa mga bata, like mga na, ay bayot, ay Barbie, sabi ko na, di ba? Ang ana, di mga, ay, di ta matigdulaan na niya kay Barbie man ang iyang ganahan din at tuwa, pusil-pusil man like that. So it is also considered as gender-based bullying. But before I proceed, I would like to show you a short clip which is related to cyber and social bullying.
Paano pag may nakakita sa atin?
Shh! Huwag kang maingay. Akong bahala.
Good morning, class, and peace be with you. Kung matatandaan ninyo, tinalakay natin ang tungkol sa biological na bahagi na kasarian ng babae at lalaki. Tinalakay din natin kung paano nabubuo ang bata sa sinapupunan ng isang babae. Ngayon, ang isyu tungkol sa sex o pakikipagtalik ay isang maselang topic at ligid sa inyong mga kaalaman ay ang mga kabataang katulad ninyo ang sangkot dito. Kung kaya't nais kong malaman kung ano ang inyong opinyon at kung sino ba ang mga tao na nilalapitan ninyo upang hingaan ng payo o gabay upang higit ninyong maunawaan at maintindihan ang tungkol dito. Sino ang nais magbahagi o mag-share ng kanilang opinyon? O any volunteers? Mel, ikaw, anong masasabi mo? Mel?
Facebook po, ma'am.
Facebook? Okay, quiet class.
What do you think is the measure of each central angle allotted for each item? Anyone, please? Oh, yes, Jo Marie?
The central angle allotted for education is 120 degrees.
Okay, so how are we going to obtain the central angle in the given circle? Oh, yes, Lenny?
To obtain that data, the budget for food will be divided by the total income, then multiplied by 360.
Okay, that's correct. Okay, class, so for your assignment, kindly answer question number 3. So let's call it a day. See you all next meeting.
Uy, Mel, pa-share naman sa table. Okay ka lang? Iniisip mo pa rin yung kanina, no? Hindi ka po ba nasanay sa mga klase natin? Naku, huwag mo na lang silang damdamin. By the way, may assignment ka na ba sa math? Ang dali lang naman ng topic nun kanina. Ewan ko ba kay Ma'am Uwabel kung bakit kailangan pang ipa-assignment yun.
So, the third law of motion states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Are you ready now for our activity for today? Get now your activity sheet.
Yan. So, ang topic natin is about relationship. Mayroon tayong tatlong uri ng relasyon. Pampamilya, pangkaibigan, at hindi pang sports, kundi pang-romantiko. Yun ang problema ng mga kabataan ngayon when they involve in an intimate relationship. And if that's the case, sobra na yung bugso ng damdamin nila, ang nagiging problema nila, pati yung life nila, yung personal, yung kaibuturan nila, yung kanilang sensual na pag-uusap, yung sensual nilang relasyon ay tumataas. Kaya naman, marami sa mga kabataan ngayon, tulad ninyo, hindi lamang sa bahay, maging sa paaralan, pinag-uusapan yung tabu na word na sex.
Masakit pa rin ba?
Ha? Hindi. Okay lang naman ako.
Good evening po, tita. Pasensya na po at ginabi kami. Hinatid ko naman po si Lenny.
Sige Mel, pasok na ako.
Sige, bukas na lang ulit.
So, my class, we'll see you tomorrow.
Let's go, Kailin!
Sige girls, una na kayo.
Paano pag may nakakita sa atin?
Shh! Huwag kang maingay. Akong bahala.
Oh, kumusta sa school? Inasikaso mo na ba yung scholarship mo?
Mel, kumain ka na muna. Ano ba yung ginagawa mo?
Wala po, ma.
Sinasabi ko sa'yo, Mel, andito lang kami ng mama mo para suportahan ka sa lahat ng gusto mong gawin. Pero nasa iyo pa rin ang desisyon kung anong gusto mong gawin pagka-graduate mo.
Lenny? Ano to?
Nang. Bakit? Hindi naman kami nagkulang ng ama mo. Sabihin mo. Ano yun? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kailangan umabot sa ganun.
Sa inyong pamilya, sino ang nilalapitan ninyo upang humingi ng gabay o payo tungkol sa sex o pakikipagtalik?
Good morning po, ma'am. May pinapabot lang po sa inyo si Ma'am Ferrer.
Mel, Lenny, pinatatawag kayo ni Mrs. Ferrer sa guidance office.
Mel, Lenny, alam ko ang ginagawa nyo. No need to tell lies.
Hanggang dito na lang ang kaya kong gawin para sa'yo.
Salamat sa lahat, Lenny. Pero, paano ako bukas?
Alam kong kakayanin mo yan.
Lenny! Lenny, nakapasa tayo!
Talaga?
Salamat, Lenny. Dahil sa tulong mo, nakuha ko yung scholarship. Salamat talaga.
Oh my God, seryoso ka ba? Congrats sa atin! Ano gusto mong sabihin sa akin?
Di ba sabi mo madali lang naman ang math? Pwede mo ba akong tulungan mag-review para sa qualifying exams ng scholarship?
Yan lang ba? Sure.
Lenny, okay ka lang ba?
Okay lang ako.
Hindi. Hatid na kita. Ihatid na kita sa inyo.
Excuse me, anong ginagawa nyo dyan? Di ba dapat nakauwi na kayo? Alam nyo yung bawal magstay dito ng ganitong oras.
Pasensya na po, ma'am. Nagpapa-tutor lang po ako kay Lenny para sa qualifying exams ng scholarship.
Basta mga 30 minutes lang. Mamaya ibibiling ko kayo sa guard pag uwi ko, so dapat uuwi na kagad pagkatapos ha.
Tinuturuan ko lang po si Mel after school. Kailangan din po niyang makapasa sa scholarship.
Pa, wala po kayong dapat ipag-alala. I'm doing my best para makapasa sa scholarship.
Ang bigat na dala ng mga salita mula sa mga sabi-sabi ay sapat na makapangyarihan. Sa isang iglap ay kaya nitong baguhin ang iyong buhay. Karamihan sa mga tao ay humahatol sa kanilang pisikal na nakikita. Dahil hindi alam ang konteksto, nababaliwala ang katotohanan. Ikaw ang maghuhulma ng sarili mong mukha. Ikaw ang magdedesisyon kung ano ang mukhang nais mong ipakita. At ikaw lamang ang makakaalam ng katotohanan ng sarili mong pagkatao. Kaya bago mo kilalanin ang iba, kilalanin mo kung sino ka.
Buksan ang iyong mata't umahon sa katotohanan. Hanapin ang sarili kagad. Marami ang mukhang naglalakbay
So, we saw on the video that the two characters were judged by the people because of the photo that went viral online. Then nadaot ang panglantaw sa tawo nila kay nakaingon magud sila nga kato nga picture after ato naa sila gibuhat nga dili maayo without knowing nang kato daing babae iya ra daing gitudlo atong lalaki sa ilang mga lessons. Then katong kabantay mo nga katong pag-agi sa babae katong mga estudyante nga iyang naagian kanang murag sigkong hunganay nga galantaw niya, then kanang mura siya gilibak ingon ana. Then ang kato nga pag-post sa photo nga nakapadaot sa reputasyon atong duha ka estudyante, that is called cyberbullying. And then katong pagpanglibak sa mga estudyante pag-agi sa babae is called social bullying. Now, let's head to the causes of bullying. Causes of bullying. 1. To get noticed. So naam kay uban nga mambuli sila kay ganahan sila nga makakuwag atensyon, ganahan sila nga ang atensyon na radyo nila. The next is they like having power over their peers. So ganahan sila nga kanang sila may magdako-dako kadlukan sila sa iyang mga kauban. Then the next is they have problems at home. So naam kay ubang bata nga kanang tungod sa ilang kaguol or naslay problema sa ilang balay, murag mapagawas na nila ang ilang kaguol or kalagot ang ilang emosyon through bullying someone. The next is think it's cool and funny dahil naapoy uban nga hala ganang bully sila kay ay chada man ni makakalataw-an kaayo ha ana dito. Then next is aggressive personality dahil naapoy uban nga kanang hala patakarag sulti without knowing nga ang ila daeng na sultihan or na buhatan og something kay nasakitan na. The next is lack of adult supervision. So ang adult supervision is very needed jud sa mga mao na to nga mga kabatan-unan. Labi na kay kanang wa pa ta kaayo ibuot, wa pa ta kaayo kabalo unsa jud sakto or unsay dili man ang kinahanglan ang ilang supervisions para ipabalo nato kung unsay dapat og angay or dili dapat buhaton. Then next is jealousy. Kung mo ana kang jealousy kablo na jud tani tanan nga kanang sa tungod sa kasuya, di ba? Na madjay uban nga nasuya sila mao nang ala mambuli na sila ilang dauton. Then next is revenge. So pananglitan og na kay nabuhat nila na kay wa sila ganahay sa nabuhat nimo nila, mubalos pud sila. And the last is take their feelings out on others. So namoy uban nga kanang mo ilang pahimungtan ba mo ipagawasan sa ilang kalagot or unsa haron rang kay kanang mura sila yung laing masultian silang problema or unsang mga emotions nila mao ang ilang ipagawas through bullying. Now, let's head to the effects of bullying. First is low self-confidence. Diba kung bullyhon ta kanang binuang-binuangan ta murag maulaw na ta. So that is matawag na siya low self-confidence. The next is depression. So kanang murag nag-uulta, nasakitan ta ato yung gidib ditong ang ilang magipangsulti, gipangbuhat. So mao na siya ma-depress ta. Then next is suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts. Kung maingon ka, di ba, kung maingon kang depressed, kalagmitan mo sa mga taong depressed, ang naa silang huna-huna, puros na lang mga negative like suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts. Then next is abnormal fears and worries. So kung moana ka nga abnormal fears, so kana bang kakon ka ng mga tao nga murag di na mapakali ingon ana kay tungod murag ang gising nila guna-una kung giunsa sila katong nahitabo nila. Then next is sleep disorders. Di nakatulog, di ba? Kalagmitan jud na sa mga gipang-bully di nakatulog kay tungod sa kagool mao na lay gisigibod nila guna-una. Then nervous habits, frequent crying, bedwetting. So mo kang nervous habits murag sige rang gikulbaan, frequent crying kasi sige ra pong gahilak, then bedwetting, mangihi sa higdaanan. Then next is poor appetite or digestive problems, school problems. So kung mga school problems, diba, kalagmitan po sa, connected na siya sa depression. Kaya kalagmitan po sa mga depressed, ang naa silang huna-huna, katulong sinito nila ang mga problema. So, ang tao pong depressed, di na kahuna-una og tarong orang ang mga yang grado ubos na, wala siya ganang mo participate sa eskwelahan. Then, the last is rage. So, magsige na sila galagot, diba, rage or anger. Then, now, let's head to Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. Republic Act Number 10627, an act requiring all elementary and secondary schools to adopt policies to prevent and address the acts of bullying in their institutions. So, there is a Republic Act Number 10627 gi-require ang tanang nga eskwelahan mapa elementary o secondary nga kinahanglan magama sila og policies against bullying. In Section 1, short title, this act shall be known as the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. So, ang Republic Act number 10627 is also known as Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. Then in Section 2, Acts of Bullying. For purposes of this act, bullying shall refer to any severe or repeated use of a written, verbal, physical act, and etc. So, nadir sa section 2 nga, usa i-consider nga bullying ang gibuhat kung gisigan na ni siya or grabe na kayo ang mga sulat, mga gipangstorya or mga gipangbuhat sa usa ka taho. Then in section 3, adoption of anti-bullying policies. All elementary and secondary schools are hereby directed to adopt policies to address the existence of bullying in their respective institutions. Such policies shall be regularly updated and that the minimum shall include provisions. So as what I have said, kaning sa Republic Act number 10627, kinahanglan jud ang mga elementary o secondary schools nga na maggama og policies against bullying. Section 4, mechanism to address bullying. The school principal or any person who holds a comparable rule shall be responsible for the implementation and oversight of policies intended to address bullying. So, there's a section 4 giingon nga ang school principal or any designated person, sila ang responsible para sa pag-implement or sa pagpatupad sa mga rules and policies against bullying sa ilang eskwelahan. If it is determined that bullying or retaliation has occurred, the school principal or the designated school officer or person shall A. Notify the law enforcement agency if the school principal or designee believes that criminal charges under the revised penal code may be pursued against the perpetrator. So, kung panalitag ang pagbully is kanang murag nilabag na siya sa criminal charges under revised penal code, pwede nga ang principal or any designated person moadto sila sa law enforcement agency. Then, in letter B, take appropriate disciplinary administrative action. So, an example for that is kanang i-guidance. Diba? Naman dito i-guidance kada school na ay guidance office. Then, next is notify the parents or guardians of the perpetrator. So, kinahanglan jud ay nga pahibalon ang ginikanan sa nang bully. Then, next is notify the parents or guardians of the victim regarding the action taken to prevent any further acts of bullying or retaliation. So, except nga ma-prevent ang any further acts of bullying, panalitag nakabalo ang ginikanan sa gibully, pwede po niya nga ma-prevent ang effects of bullying, like depression and suicidal thoughts. Di ba kay, kung aware na ang parents niya, pwede silang mo-take og action para ilang i-comfort ilang anak og mawalan ang mga negative nga mga panghuna-huna. Section 5, Reporting Requirement. All schools shall inform their respective schools division superintendents in writing about the anti-bullying policies formulated within 6 months from the effectivity of this act. Such notification shall likewise be an administrative requirement prior to the operation of new schools. So, there is a Section 5 giingon nga kinahanglan kada schools panitag makagama na sila policies nga para sa 6 months, kinahanglan ilang ipahibalo sa ilang schools division superintendent. Then, in Section 6, sanction for non-compliance. In the rules and regulations to be implemented pursuant to this act, the Secretary of DepEd shall prescribe the appropriate administrative sanctions on school administrators who shall fail to comply with the requirements under this act. In addition thereto, erring private schools shall likewise suffer the penalty of suspension of their permits to operate. So, diri sa Section 6, kay pananglitag ang public schools dili kay sila kasunod or dili nila masunod ang requirements under sa Republic Act number 10627, pwede nga hatagan sila og mga administrative sanctions sa DepEd. Then, while in private schools, pwede sila nga pwede nga isuspend ang ilang mga permits. Section 7. Implementing rules and regulations. Within 90 days from the effectivity of this act, the DepEd shall promulgate the necessary rules and regulations to implement the provision of this act. Section 8. Separability clause. If, for any reason, any provision of this act is declared to be unconstitutional or invalid, the other sections or provisions. Section 9. Repealing clause. All laws, decrees, orders, rules, and regulations, or parts thereof which are inconsistent with or contrary to the provisions of this act are hereby repealed, amended, or modified accordingly. So, pananglitan ang mga gigama nga mga policies, rules, or laws under ani nga act kay dili masunod ang mga requirements, pwede nga ibasura ni nga mga policies. Then next is Section 10, Effectivity. This act shall take effect 15 days after its publication in at least 2 national newspapers of general. So kung muana nga sa Section 10, kinahanglan nga ma-effective ni siya after 15 days nga na-publish na siya sa usa ka newspaper. Let us always remember that we should stop and raise awareness about anti-bullying to stop the future sufferings of the incoming generations, even in the present generations, such as depression and anxiety, which leads a person to commit suicide. I won't be bullied. I won't be judged. I won't be silent. I am not ashamed. I am strong. I am proud to be me. I want to show you some of the pictures that were taken during our child protection policy and anti-bullying orientation. As a part of our advocacy, the Supreme Student Government or SSG officers conducted an orientation about the awareness of child protection policy and anti-bullying policy. We went to the assigned area, which was the chapel of Lower Bugang, at around 9 a.m. We went to everyone's houses in the resided area to gather some students that were currently studying at Moorning National High School to start our orientation. Minutes passed, the participants were gathered. Before we started our session, we followed safety health protocols like securing that the participants were properly wearing face masks, sanitized their hands, and used thermal scanner to check their temperature. We also arranged their seats to ensure the practice of social distancing when we started the program. The prayer was led by Ala May O. Katakutan. After that, Mr. Paulo Don Rodriguez, our SSG advisor, gave a little introduction about the topic. Anti-bullying policy was efficiently oriented by me, Lea Faith Salvania, and Ala Katakutan. It refers to laws, policies, organizations, and movements aimed to stopping or preventing bullying. Our SSG advisor gave an additional information to the said topic. Meanwhile, another topic was discussed. Child protection policy was explained by Krisa Marie R. Mahumat and Vivian Romano. This topic refers to programs, services, procedures, and structures that are intended to prevent and respond to abuse, neglect, exploitation, discrimination, and violence. Again, Mr. Paulo Don Rodriguez gave an additional information about the topics tackled. Later on, we took pictures for the documentation of our organization and departed to our places to eat lunch. The first session of our orientation ended at around 11 a.m. After eating our lunch, we proceeded to another assigned area at Tuwang, Purok, Calooy, to share our insights about the importance of anti-bullying policy and child protection policy. At around 1 p.m., we started the second session of orientation and followed the same procedure. The topic was sensibly discussed by Samantha Faith C. Martinez and Vivian Romano. They shared the same ideas from the previous session regarding to the topic and eventually ended the orientation at around 2:30 p.m. As a part of our advocacy, the Supreme Student Government or SSG officers conducted an orientation about the awareness of child protection policy and anti-bullying policy. We went to the assigned area, which was the chapel of Lower Bugang at around 9 a.m. We went to everyone's houses in the resided area to gather some students that were currently studying at Pamplona National High School to start our orientation. Minutes passed, the participants were gathered. Before we started our session, we followed safety health protocols like securing that the participants were properly wearing face masks, sanitized their hands, and used thermal scanner to check their temperature. We also arranged their seats to ensure the practice of social distancing when we started the program. The prayer was led by Ella May O. Katakutan. After that, Mr. Paulo Don Rodriguez, our SSG advisor, gave a little introduction about the topic. Anti-bullying policy was efficiently oriented by me, Lea Faith Salvania, and Ella Katakutan. It refers to laws, policies, organizations, and movements aimed to stopping or preventing bullying. Our SSG advisor gave an additional information to the said topic. Meanwhile, another topic was discussed. Child protection policy was explained by Krisa Marie R. Mahumat and Vivian Romano. This topic refers to programs, services, procedures, and structures that are intended to prevent and respond to abuse, neglect, exploitation, discrimination, and violence. Again, Mr. Paulo Don Rodriguez gave an additional information about the topics tackled. Later on, we took pictures for the documentation of our organization and departed to our places to eat lunch. The first session of our orientation ended at around 11 a.m. After eating our lunch, we proceeded to another assigned area at Tuwang, Purok, Calooy, to share our insights about the importance of anti-bullying policy and child protection policy. At around 1 p.m., we started the second session of orientation and followed the same procedure. The topic was sensibly discussed by Samantha Faith C. Martinez and Vivian Romano. They shared the same ideas from the previous session regarding to the topic and eventually ended the orientation at around 2:30 p.m. But before I end our session, I would like to remind, or just a friendly reminder, that we should be considerate to others' feelings. Don't judge a person if you didn't even know the real reason for his or her action and what the person is going through. Try to approach a conflict nicely. Don't be too harsh towards a person to avoid hurting their feelings, because some people are very sensitive and at the same time some people are insensitive. Huna-hunaon pud nato ang pwede nga bation sa uban, usa ta mo buhat, and also always think before you speak. I know na ang atong pagpaminuang sa uban kay walay daotang intensyon, kay para nato pangpakatawa ra, but naaman guy uban nga dali masakitan. Maunang we should also think about their feelings. Then, kung naa mo'y mga amigo or kinsa man nga kailan ninyo, nga nakita ninyo or na-feel ninyo nga naa sila'y problema, you should approach them and comfort them. Harong, malesen ang pain nga ilang gibati. We should comfort either our friends or strangers if we think they are having a hard time. Because some people like to endure pain than to open up with their peers. Moreover, suicide cases are more active at the moment because of the bullying incidents. So we should be more careful with our actions and words For the people that surrounds us are very sensitive. Sensitive in a way of how people interact with them. We must encourage our youth to support one another rather than tearing each other through social media. And by creating awareness, we are creating havens in social media. Once again, I am encouraging all of you to stop bullying. I would like to show you the advocacy video that was made by the SSG officers about anti-bullying.
Pandak.
Wildo. Payatot.
Ulol.
Angit. Dugyot. Parang unggoy. Kuba.
Mahina.
56% students witnessed bullying at school.
8% of all students skip class.
Because of bullying.
21% of all students report bullying as an ongoing problem.
Isa sa 10 mag-aaral ang lumipat ng eskwelahan dahil sa pambubuli.
282 students reportedly attacked throughout the nation each month.
They've been victims of physical violence at school and at home.
Statistics of 2020, students still getting bullied in internet through cyberbullying.
Social networking is a new environment for bullying.
2.7 million bullied and 2.1 million bullies.
Stopping bullying is a social responsibility we should take part.
Stop bullying at home. Stop bullying at school.
Stop future generations suffering from such.
Promote advocacy. Stop bullying.
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 Stop bullying. Stop bullying.
Stop bullying.
We are now here at Puro Kaloy, one of the learning center of our school, to do an orientation about child protection policy and anti-bullying policy. As mobilize and educate the students, parents, teachers, community, local government units, and other stakeholders. Our school, together with us SSG officers and SSG advisors, with your cooperation, we are here gathered today to initiate an orientation for child protection policy and awareness of anti-bullying. So before we start, may I call Ms. Christian Milano for the prayer.
Pulling someone down will never help you reach the top.